annoying. Hiya. I've had to turn my camera around because it's decided to go portraits. I should have remembered that from when Philippa did it the other day, which is going to be a bit of a nuisance when I'm trying to show you the whole canvas. Yeah, because it's quite a big canvas. Let me just wait for it to catch up. Oh, I don't hate it when Facebook messes about, really. I'll put it on big so I can see what's happening. And I'll try and move this across so I'm in the right place. Oh, very annoying that is. There we are. Am I coming in from the top or the bottom? I think I'm coming in from the bottom, but we will know in a moment. I must have turned it around the wrong way. Oh no, I'm coming in from the top. Let's see. I had it all set up and everything. I was all ready to go. And now I'm making you all seasick. So we're just going to whip around a bit and see if that helps, because I would be crafting upside down otherwise. Why do they not leave things be? Right, let's see. I need to move up a bit, I feel. Hi Christine. Hi Julie. Hi Andreen. Hi Brian. Hi Donna. Hi Jax. Hi everybody. Let me see. It's a bit dark there, isn't it? Oh, I think it's going to be one of them nights, guys. Am I in the right place? Can you see it all? Because it's going to be kind of annoying if you can't. Yeah, it really is a pain, Philippa. You know, now you've got hardly any room to do anything. Come on, you've got a big canvas. I'll see if I can bring it up a bit. Maybe then I'll be able to fit my canvas in. It's not too dark, is it? No? No. Because normally it blends out all the colours. Let me see if I can move all this stuff out of the way, because it looks really untidy. But, well, nothing I can do about it. That's the way it is, I'm afraid. Unfortunately. Let's move that and the moose out of the way. There we are. Right, I do apologise. Anyway, here we go. So, I'll be doing a mixed media canvas. I haven't done one for a while, so I decided to do one for when we had to do the samples for the last launch. Really, really, really enjoy doing mixed media. And now I can't see your comments, so this is just marvellous. Why can you not see the comments? Oh, there we go. There we are. Right. No. There, I can see it. Yay! Yeah, so I decided to do it. I love mixed media. People are really scared of mixed media. Hi Linda, hi Sonia, hi Penny, hi Patsy. If I've missed anybody else, I'm sorry. I will go back over the comments later. And if there's any questions or anything like that that I don't actually get to see while I'm doing it, then I will answer them later. Right, so I'm doing a square canvas. Hey Carol. I'm doing a square canvas, but I did need this particular part to be quite dry before I go on. And rather than have you listen to the hairdryer go for 20 minutes, I've kind of done that bit. But I'm going to show you how I got to that bit on this clean canvas. There will be some drying, some drying time. I apologise for my throat. I feel like I've swallowed razor blades this morning, but they are. So, yeah, there'll be some drying time, you know, because we have to have it dry before we move on to the next part of, you know, inking and stuff. It's got to be dry or it'll just run everywhere and it just won't work. So, right, canvases. When I buy a canvas, I buy cheap canvases. I'm not one for buying really expensive canvases. I usually go the Works or, you know, somewhere cheap. The difference between the cheap ones and the non-cheap ones is that the non-cheap ones have already been gessoed, so you don't have to do that. These ones happen to have gesso on them. I don't know where I got these from. I think it was Hobbycraft. I'm not sure, to be honest. I've had them a while. Like I said, I haven't done any for ages. So the only thing you have to do if it's not gessoed is give it a coat. Just any old gesso, including the one that you've made yourself that I gave you the recipe for last week. Use that. and then dry it with a hairdryer. By doing that, it gives you a nicer surface for it to slide around on, because sometimes if you spray colour onto a canvas that hasn't been gessoed, the colour stains in a splodge, and it doesn't always move, and that's not what you want. Well, it's not what I want. It might be what you want, but it's not what I want. So it's, you know, it's been gessoed. And this one was, as I said, pre-gessoed. So what we do then is, using texture paste, you can use the recipe I gave you last week. It'll work fine. I'm using one I've already got. So you've got to have some idea of composition in your head. Okay, so in that respect then, if you know where you're kind of going with it, then you know where you're going to be able to put the texture paste where it's going to be seen. So if you're going to have a whole load of flowers in this corner, there's no point in putting texture paste there, because the flowers are going to cover the whole thing up. Hi Gloria. So do it so that you will be able to see the texture, and that your ink will run in and around it and create some really nice background patterns. So my composition, if I was doing this one tonight, would be flowers top right, bottom left. Okay, so with that in mind, I will avoid these two, not put so much on there. Might put a bit here where the flowers are going to sit behind, but I wouldn't put it all in the corner and hide it. It just seems just wasting your texture paste. So really easy, a bit like how I did it the other day. Put your stencil on, and I'm using Julie's Background 3 stencil. It's my new favourite. So it doesn't have to be right across. I hope you can see this. I put a bit there. Yeah, I'll lift it a bit and you can see it. Flowers are going there, flowers are going there. So put a bit here. It doesn't have to come right across, just a bit. We are putting flowers there, but I have hopefully avoided them. I tend to do it in from top to bottom, so that you're not actually going into the bit that you've already put on. And I always use even numbers. Don't know whether that's the law, but I tend to do it in even numbers. Sorry, even. What am I talking about? Odd numbers. So I know my flowers are going there, so I'm just going to put a little bit on whatever's left on me here. Okay, so I've put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bits on it. The thing with texture paste is you must always clean your stencil, because while you're doing all the rest of the bits and bobs to your canvas, then the texture paste will dry on your stencil and it won't do it any good. So give it a wipe off, get rid of it, and the same off your spatula or your credit card, or you know, your old cards, whatever you're using. Hi Marianne. Hi Carol. Hi Ruth. Thank you for joining me. So stencil done. So what we would do now is get the hairdryer, not the heat gun, an old hairdryer, and we would dry that off. Okay, take off any you don't want that's hanging over the side. Just wipe it away. Wipe your fingers. I've got gloves on because the sprays that I use, I will be using. They're not this, you know, they just squirt everywhere, and I don't want my fingers to be blue and green, because I'm going to keep the same colours that I did last time. So I'm moving that one out of the way, and I'm going to bring in the actual canvas that I'm working on, that we will be working on. Okay, so now I've got to find, yeah, it's that way up. So I've put a patch there, one in the corner, one there that comes to about halfway, one here, and one there. I have turned the lights down on the you won't really see that, I suppose, until I start spraying the ink, but I've turned the lights down on the iPad so that they're not so bright and bleed everything out. It's alright, Catherine, I haven't really done very much except yap so far. So I'm just going to move this canvas. This is completely and utterly dry, and this is what I needed to do. I needed to have this dry to progress on with the rest of it. I'm sure you all know how to dry a canvas. So the stuff I've got some clay embellishments. Okay, maybe if I turn it that way it'll be better. I've got some clay embellishments. I've made these. They're just air dried clay. I usually have a night where I sit and make a lot of them and then just leave them to dry and then put them in a box for next time I want them. I'm not sure if I'll use them, but I've dug them out. I think that one's plaster. Went on a craft retreat, did a load of plaster stuff with Dawn, Carol, and this is one of the remainders. Again, a crown. Just an eclectic mix of clay embellishments, a couple of clocks, stars. On the last canvas, I can't remember what day, I think I put Dream on that one. Didn't have the word Dream, so I've got Love for this one. And I've got some of Julie's dinky hexagons, and I've cut just the frame elements out. I'm going to use some of them. A few gems, and that's about it for them. And then here, I've cut all the actual florals out because that would have took forever. Because there's quite a lot. You know, the canvas that I'm using is quite big, and I'd rather have too many than not enough. So, hi Stephanie. So, these are all the florals, and I'll colour them in front of you, so you'll see them. I've got 2 butterflies. I'm not going to colour the leaves, so they can go off to one side. The little petally leaves, you can if you wish. I'm not going to. I'm basically going to do exactly what I did with the other one, only on a slightly different shape of that square. I got some little butterflies there. Again, not sure if I'll use them all. So, yeah, we'll have a go. We'll do some of these. In fact, I'll do them all, and then what's left, I'll use on a card. So, my usual non-messing about colouring flowers. I just colour them in the middle. I quite like them that way. There we go. So, I'm just going to colour the middles. I'm using the nearest colour to my sprays, and that happens to be peacock feathers, okay? So I'm just going to keep going quickly. I mean, anybody can do this. Don't worry too much about the bottom one. Keep the top one the darkest, because that was the one that you're going to see the most. But, you know, add a bit of colour to it, so that if somebody does lift up the petal, it does look like you've been a bit professional about it and coloured the underneath one. Hi, Josephine. So, there we go. Yeah, this method of colouring I found very easy. I'm sure you'll notice I colour most of my flowers like this. It's just a little tiny dauber. I guess you could use a stencil brush if you wanted to, but it does make for a quick, just be a bit gentle with them, because like once you've cut them out, cut in between each petal to give yourself some dimension. If you go at it like a bull in a china shop, like I usually do, you'll rip the petals off, which is not a good look, is it? 4 petals instead of 5. So here we go. Maybe I should have done this ahead of time, but sometimes I feel like I do everything ahead of time and I miss and skip bits. That maybe you need to see, you know. So we're going for the full hit tonight, so it might take a little while to dry stuff off, but that's the nature of mixed media, I'm afraid. So I probably don't need all of those. I have been overcautious there with them, but hey-ho. And again, same with these. Try and keep your flowers, the same flowers with the same flowers. Otherwise, you'll spend all your time trying to match them up. Might give you a different look, I suppose, wouldn't it? So here we go on these. I like big florals. I really, really do like big florals. You can get a very easy composition with very little effort, really, I suppose. Has anybody so far got any questions while I'm just colouring? Yeah, Stephanie, it's just a lazy person's way of doing it. You know, sometimes if you're really, really busy and you've got a lot of samples or a lot of... Because I teach crafting on a Tuesday morning around the corner. Gloria's one of my ladies, fabulous bunch of ladies, we have a right laugh. Yeah, I volunteer for round the corner, and tomorrow we're doing a mixed media piece, so I told them to all come on and watch it because it'll be a good run through for them, because we will be using some of the same techniques really, but we're doing like a little memory box tomorrow, so that'll be quite interesting for them. So yeah, when I get kind of busy, you know, you look for quick ways of doing things that still make it look really nice. I might put a bit of green on the end of this, I don't know. I'm using blue and green tonight, but again, I'm only colouring the middle. I'm fading it outwards. Changing the light on the cameras work quite well, actually. Doesn't seem so bright now. Sometimes when I was taking the photos after I'd done the live and I put them on, they look like they've been messed with. Believe me, I'm not clever enough. I don't know how to do that. They look like I've enhanced them in some way. It's just that the light in here was so bright. And then tonight when I was locking the screen, I thought, oh, look, I can turn it down. I mean, you know, I've only had the iPad for about 8 years, like, and I've only just realised that you can do that. Hey-ho. I'm a crafter, not a techie person, really. I'm just about write an email, if I'm honest. Yeah, just colour in the middles. Yeah, I know. Believe me, if there's a lazy way of doing it, I'll find it. And that is the truth. I do apologise that you're just sitting there watching me. But I'm doing them all the same colour. Okay, because there's going to be enough contrast, I think, with the two different colours of the inks that I'm using, the spray inks. Okay, I think that's going to be enough. I'll just do the little butterflies just in case. And looks like I might need another peacock feathers. It is one of my favourite colours, you might have guessed. Like, I use it all the time. It's kind of your kind of go-to colours, aren't they? You find a few, 2 or 3 that go together and you think, yeah, and you use it every single day. Okay, I'm not going to do, oh God, there's only one left, so I might as well do it, eh? Because you're bound, fine, sure to need it. There we are. Right, that's them all done. So, unfortunately, you've now got to watch me glue them together. And the reason why I glue them together right now is they will help with the composition when it comes to sticking things on. Okay, I've had my glue gun on. I'm going to use that for quickness. And I'm just going to double them up on top, offset the petals. Okay, I've got a big one and then I've used the die to cut that one out, so that it'll give me some dimension when it actually is, you know, proper cooled. And on the canvas, butterfly again. If you're going to go large, double it up. Why not? Yeah, I know, Yvonne. Honestly, I ask my fella's a computer expert, and I ask him to show me something. And he goes, it's really easy, you just do this. And he does it in about 2 seconds. And then he looks at me as if I've got it. And then he just leaves it. And I'm like, I have no idea what he's just done there. I end up having to Google it. And then take 20 minutes to do something he took 2 seconds to do. I'm absolutely useless at it. But there you go. Can't be good at everything, can you? I'm sure he couldn't make a mixed media canvas. You know? There we are. So, yeah. They're gonna... Hiya, Sue. Oh, you've managed to get one in while it's actually live. Well, that's the good thing about saving them, really, isn't it? As you can, you know, life gets in the way, doesn't it? You have all intentions of doing something, and then the door goes, and you get a load of people knocked round. And it's a bit rude, isn't it, to say, excuse me, you can't come in, I'm about to watch a live. I usually get a phone call right in the middle of the live. Despite the fact that you've said don't ring me, they still do. There we are, let's see. There we are now. There. I have gone a little OTT with said flowers. But there we are. Who knows? I might use them all, might not. I haven't done anything about shaping them yet. Look, I've got 2 different ones there, but there you go. And this one, these ones, I'm keeping single. I'm not doing anything with them. I may as well glue that one on there as well. As soon as I've done it, there we are. Take my glue gun over there. I've got glue gun bits everywhere now. I have an old plate that it rests on, but I still managed to get it all over the table. Okay, so we've got all the flowers. Let's have them grouped up. Out the way for a wee minute. Okay, bring the canvas in. So, this is why I make the flowers ahead of and get them ready. Even though I'm not gluing them on. Let's see if this is going to fit. So I'm just waiting for it. I'm just waiting to be able to be seen on the computer. There you go. So you start off, composition-wise, with your biggest one. Okay. Yeah, Julie's flowers are lovely, aren't they? I am a bit of a floral fan, so big one there. I am one of these awkward people that have to have whatever's over there has to be up there as well. Okay. Otherwise, I just start getting annoyed with myself because I didn't do it. So then you go down to your next size, and if you give them a little bit of a curl while you're doing this, you can roughly see where they're going to sit, as to where you're going to whap all the other stuff that you've got in the tray. Okay, so there we go. Which one have I got there now? I've got a shaped one there. I've got a shaped one there. So I'll have a pointy one now. These strings, although they do disappear if you flash a hairdryer over the top of them. I don't know where they go, but they do disappear. Okay, that one's going to go in there. All right, and then I'm going to build it upwards. So I'm not putting the leaves on yet because I don't really need them to be on yet. So one of them there, one of them there, one there, one of those on there because this fell off. And you can see you're starting to get a nice little shape. You could have just done it right in the middle. Excuse me. Quick drink. You could have done it in the middle and left all the outside white if you wanted to. I just happen to like a lot of, if you're going to do it, go big with a lot of flowers. Okay. People get scared of mixed media, but in all honesty, probably most of you already do mixed media. If you use a pattern paper and a stamp and ink, that's mixed media. You know, it's just a mix of mediums. I think people think it should be grungy or no. There's so many different types. There's shabby chic, there's French chic, there's the dark and grungy stuff, there's gothic, you know, there's all kinds of stuff that you can do, and it doesn't have to be. Mine always airs. I can do the dark stuff, but I prefer the pretty stuff. Okay, so I'm looking at that and I'm wondering, is that enough? Okay, is it enough? So I'm going to fill it, I think, with a couple more bits here and there. One there. And now I'm left with one, but I am going to put a butterfly on it, so I'll fill the top corner there. Now, what I want to do now is work out, and this is the best way to do it, is work out where you're going to put all the little bits and if you're going to put all the little bits on, okay? So I have a nice frame. It doesn't have to go in the centre. It can go about there. Which way up? I might not even use it. I might use the skinny one. Check it out. I quite like the skinny one. Okay, the word love is going to go somewhere down here. And then I've got these clocks and bits and bobs. Don't forget you've got some foliage to put in. So that's a bit large. I'll fill that gap up the top. So therefore I'm going to fill that gap at the bottom. It's not hard to do. You're nodding off, Jules. Oh, no worries, lovely. Butterfly's going to go in there. Okay. I've got two smaller ones which I'll put on at the end. See where I'm going with that. This little crown I quite like at the top there. Okay. And then I've got some stars which I shall pop in and around. You can tuck them under as well, it's fine. Big one. You're just working out where you want these things to be. Okay, one there. You've got to strike a nice balance. Oh, one there. Imagine you're not going to see much of that one because I've got my foliage to go on. So one there. I've got this big piece which is too big. It's too big for the scale of it. Okay, and then I've got these are Julie's. Okay, so once you've got, I'm not going to put this one on till the very last because I want that one to stay white. Okay, I don't mind if the other things that I've just put on get a bit of spray on them. I don't mind that. So now we know where these things are roughly going to go, we can take them off, and if you put them in the the way that it was got on your canvas, either side, you know where you're going to glue them. See, they're in place to be glued. So, no bother. Get your glue gun in. Now, you can use gel medium to put these things on, but you would have been waiting all night for it to dry, because gel medium takes 24 hours to dry, and when I'm doing something like this, obviously we don't have that time. So I'm going to hot glue it on. They're not heavy. The items are not heavy. I'm going to make sure that's straight, because sometimes when you do clay pieces, they do warp a little bit when they're drying. So I'm literally just going to pick them up, put a bit of glue on, and place it back down. That's it. Okay. Now, these items will stick straight away, I think. And if you haven't got clay, you know, have a look around. That you'll find buttons or all kinds of stuff. That went in the corner, if I remember rightly. So we'll whack that there. And then we'll start up here then. Move the ones you don't need. Put this one in the corner. Is everyone following so far? Does it make sense? Does it make sense to you all? I do hope so. Yeah, it seems to be making sense. I've got some stars to put on. There we are. Okay, right. Do I need that? Do I need that? No. I might pop them on for the last. Okay, so what we want to do now is move your stuff out of the way and put some of these on. They're going to stick out from behind the flowers. Okay. Sort of behind the flowers. The main reason for putting these on, really, is just to add a little bit more interest. So, of course, it will have to be the same on both sides, so I'm just going to mess for a bit. Little one. Just use the little ones. There we go. And what will happen when you spray these is that the inks will settle in some of the places where this is, and it'll pool and it'll make an interesting, she says, hopefully. So I'm going to glue them on, okay? Anything that hangs off the edge, cut it off at the very end. Okay, there we are. Any of this glue, do you know what? It doesn't really matter. It'll add texture, the way I look at it. I do go through some serious amount of glue sticks, I do. Right, okay, pop these on. I think it went about there, yeah. Tuck it under that one, and then glue this on. Now, what I'm going to do with this now is I have to add some art stones, and then I've got to gesso the whole thing and then dry it. Because these pieces haven't been gessoed, and I figured you need to see how to do that. Okay, so we know there's a big flower going there, there's a small one, then there's your smaller ones, then there's your butterfly. So where there's any gaps, you might not need art stones, but where there's any gaps, you can fill them in. Okay, you can put some art stones in the corner here. You have to do it with hot glue, and then you just whack the stones on. And what art stones are these things. And in here, I've got small and large, because I've got that few of them left now that I've just mixed them, basically. I've just mixed them up. So I'm going to put some behind there. So way to do it is get yourself a tray ready, because they literally go everywhere. Once you, the ones that don't actually glue down go everywhere. Lift your flower up, put a blob of glue on, get your art stones out, press them in. Okay, just press them in. You'll see why I put the tray there in a minute. Anything that doesn't stick, take it off onto the tray, because you'll be crunching them for weeks under your feet. Okay, there we are. So a couple more, I think, by the clock. You're just filling in gaps with stuff. You could use, you don't have to use these, you could use buttons, could use anything you've got. This is what I love about it. I save all kinds of stuff. Anything, you know, odd screws, God, bicycle pump things. God, I've got all kinds of rubbish. So I'm going to pop, these strings everywhere. I'm going to pop a couple up there, just to balance it. Chuck them on. And another reason why I like mixed media is because it's absolutely not an exact science. It's never wrong. There's no rules. What you do is yours. Nobody else is going to do one exactly the same as you. It's unique. And so it can't be wrong. So I'm just going to turn it round. And I'm going to put some up here now. By the clock again. Pop some in there. Use the ones that's on this tray. Sugar in. I hope you can see that. There we are. Just pressing them in. Okay. I'll leave it there for now. If I feel I need any later, I shall. I'm just knocking them off onto that tray. As I said, they get everywhere. There we are. And these ones as well. Don't waste them. They're not cheap. Although I have had this pot for years. They're everywhere now. Anyway, there you go. Turn it back up the right way again. And we're good to go. Alright, so now I need to gesso this little lot. Now, normally, I would say use a paintbrush. But most people use a paintbrush. I only use a paintbrush to dry brush. I use a sponge because I am so heavy-handed with gesso, especially this Cadence one. It's so thick. You'd be here all night watching it dry. So I'm just literally taking some off out the pack. Look how thick it is. It's amazingly thick. And I'm just going to go over the bits that we've put on because I want them to be white. Okay, including the little bit on the texture paste. You want to knock it all back so it's all the same colour. And obviously paper isn't the same colour as the canvas, so we want remove any strings that you can find. We want to knock it back, and I want to colour them art stones as well. As you can see, I hope you can see, I'm just dabbing it on. It gives a thinner layer, okay? Well, it does for me because, like I said, I'd be here all night painting it. And this is just an old kitchen sponge that was no longer usable in the kitchen, so I washed it, set it to one side, and I just cut it up into 4 bits. And just hold on to it and use it. You can see the difference, maybe. You can see that the art stones are going from that dirty grey colour that they were to white. And the same with the clay. Clay is very porous. So, you know, and as you can see, I'm not putting a whole massive layer on. I'm just filling in where I need it to be. And then I shall dry it. And then the fun begins, spraying it. That's my favourite part. Taking glue bits off is not my favourite part. I know Brian does mixed media, and I don't know if Philippa does, probably. Anybody else do mixed media? Does anybody have to go with it? Like this kind of mixed media rather than anything else. It's nice to make your own stuff and put it on the wall. Makes you smile when you walk past it. Or gift it to somebody. I think we've got it. I am going to dry brush at the end anyway. Now comes the noisy part, alright? I do apologise. Noisy part coming. Excuse me. Just wiping the gesso off my fingers. Alright, so. Ooh, I didn't glue my crown on. There we are. On you go. There we are. Right. As you can see, it's a bastard old hairdryer. Does me fine. No, don't be scared of it, Pat. Honestly, you can't go wrong. You literally can't go wrong. Stick everything on your canvas as long as you group it together. You know, if you just put it like now, it looks random. But once they get the flowers on it, it'll all be grouped. It'll all be grouped together. And it gives your eye somewhere nice to rest, you know. Otherwise you've got something up there and something down there. It just doesn't work. Honestly, now I can honestly say what I've just done tonight, I don't see why any of you couldn't do that. Anybody can do what I've just done. It's not difficult. You all know how to use Julie's flowers. You all know how to cook dyes. Okay, so you might not have the moulds to do the stars and all that, but if you go to the range and pick up some wooden items, you know, wooden elements, you can paint them up and they look just the same. Why do I use a hairdryer as opposed to a heat gun? Sometimes if you use a heat gun, the texture paste will bubble. The texture paste will bubble up, and unless you want it to look like that, and I find a hairdryer, usually I put it on full and blast it full, but it's too noisy. It's on its last legs, if I'm honest, which is why it's here. You see, nearly dry with that now. I'll just bring this around here so I'm not reaching over and dry it. So far, no questions. I've got no heat on the hairdryer either. It's not cold. It's just on the first, you know, the first setting on your hairdryer sort of thing, as opposed to super fast. So I'm just going to check on the back of my glove to make sure everything's dry. And like I said, it doesn't take long if you use a sponge. I think we're good to go on that. So. Now we can start the messy bit. Okay, now we can start. This is the bit I like the best. So, I'm going to put some tissue down. And I'm going to have some tissue because I will be lifting this up to let it run in a minute. Okay, I don't want my flowers to be this colour. I might just cut that off while I'm here. Take that off the side. That little bit there. There we are. You're not going to see that because there'll be something over the top of it. You're not going to see that it's not a whole one. Okay. Yeah, I don't want my flowers to be coloured. I don't want the love word to be coloured. That's perfect, Jack's perfect. So, the sprays I'm using are Tacit Angels and Lindy's. Right, okay. They're water-based sprays, alright, so you can dilute them down. If you've got distress sprays, or if you haven't got any of them, you can make your own with mica and water. You can even do it, excuse me, with a cheap tube of watercolour paint. Use the whole little tubes. You get them in the works, little tiny ones. Use the whole one. They're about, I don't know, a couple of quid for about 10, 15 colours. Get 15 bottles, you've got 15 sprays. That's all this is. This one's got a bit of mica in it, which is why I'm shaking it. And the colour, because I haven't used them for so long, the colour's settled on the bottom of that, but I'm not going to worry about that. Excuse me, Strepsil time. Right, so, here we go. Don't be worried, okay, about doing this bit. This is fun. Got a bottle of water as well. Do you have to seal the flowers? You can do. You can put. It depends on where it's going in the house. If it's going in the hall, or I don't seal them. I mean the wreaths that I made over Christmas. Remember, I did a wreath on Alive. I've got 2 in the living room on different doors, and they're fine as long as you don't put them somewhere like the bathroom where they're going to get like damp. Or in the kitchen, you know, I think you'll be all right. But I'm sure if you can paint them with Mod Podge, watered down Mod Podge, that would seal them. There's no need to go to, or if you've got a varnish, you know, shiny or matte, I guess you could use that. So, I'm not sure where I want the colours to go. All I know is that I want some colour coming down there. Okay, so, scary bit now. and I hope that these pump. It will annoy me if they don't. Okay, so I'm just going to squirt some colour on. I don't want it that dark. You do waste a lot of the colour on this, so I'm just going to squirt some water on. Okay, let it run where it wants to run, and anything I don't want, I'm going to take off because it's a background. Okay, so take some of that big pool stuff off, and now you'll be able to see the way that the ink runs in and around the texture paste. Okay, alright, we can put a bit of that over there if we want. We're going to go back in with again, we may well need to water it down a bit more in case you don't want it that dark. You see why I've got gloves on? Oh, marvellous, it doesn't want to spray. Right, let's see. It will spray. I will make it spray. There we are. I think it's one of them. That was my main issue with these. The colours are lovely, but the bottles are useless. I should filter them into different bottles, like these kind of bottles. Okay, so dab on, dab off. Okay, and you can see, guys, no skill. A bit more water if you want it a bit more muted. You can use cloths, baby wipes, whatever you want to wipe some of it off. There you go. And you can see the way the different textures, like the paper, is picking up more of the ink than this, yeah? Because this is clay. So the paper's kind of, you can mute the edges with a tissue once it's a bit wet. And you can change it up how you want it. Okay, so I'm going to work my way down. A bit more blue. A bit more water. Hence why I've got the tissue underneath me. Take some off. Okay. Anything you don't like, remove. You could, honestly, you could mess about with this forever. There we go, no spray. Alright, it looks really dark today, doesn't it? It looks really, really dark. So, maybe I'll use a different colour blue. Who knows? I'm spraying it, I'm just going to let it run. Run it down. Remove it at the bottom. I hope you can still see it's running. Okay. Yeah, you can see that. There we go. A bit more tissue. You do use a lot of tissue and stuff when you're doing this. But, do you know what? And another thing, don't worry if you make it too dark. Absolutely do not worry, because we're going to knock it back with a bit of gesso anyway. I can go to finish off with a bit of blue at the bottom. Okay. Just a little bit there. See what happens if I put a bit of green on. See, there's no science, guys, no science at all. I don't really want it to run down the side, because then if it runs down the side, oh, I've got to tidy it up, and that's just a nuisance. So, put a bit on there. I'm going to rub that in there, so it goes into the clock face itself. There we are, a bit more blue. Blue is my favourite, so hence more blue than green. And then just let it run. Take off what you don't want. I mean, it's not hard, is it? It's not very hard, really. So it depends on how far you want the colour to come across, alright? So just turn it round and do the other side. Okay, doesn't have to be the same, so I'll start with the green. If it sprays, of course. Oh man, so annoying. It looks really mad at the moment, like just big sprays everywhere. But it'll look fine by the time we've finished, honestly. It always looks worse before it gets better. I'm sure. I'm sure. It was, yeah, I can't remember. I think it was Sid. I think it was, no. There was a fellow who used to say, and I can't remember his name, Julia will remember, he used to say, you're only one layer away from perfection, so keep going. Little American guy. He's fab. I watch his lives all the time. He's fantastic. Right, okay, bit of blue. We know that spray is okay, because it's a Lindy's. You can move it with your fingers. Tab off. There goes my strepsils on the floor. bit of blue, bit of water, and it's literally, just keep going. There we are. Can you see when you run it, it runs through the texture paste. There we are. I'll just take a little bit off there, I think. Bit of green, finish with a bit of blue, and then we're good. Or maybe not even a bit of blue. Ooh, look at that string there. Big stringy bit. Run it down, but not off the edge. There we go. A bit more green, I think. I'm liking this green. It's like a limey, weird green colour, isn't it? Right, sprays away. There we go. So, you can always add some colour if you haven't got enough. And you can always take some away if you've got too much. Like, I don't really like that weird shape up the top there, so I'll try and move a bit. If not, if I can't move it, I shall go over it with gesso later. There we go. Right, so that's that bit. That's that bit. Now, again, we have to dry it, unfortunately. Ink doesn't take long to dry, though. Seth Actor, that's your man. Yeah, that's him. I knew you'd know who he was, Jules. He's fab, isn't he? I really like his stuff. You can see it's gone in and around this bit here, which is quite sweet. Yeah, he is a sweetie, isn't he? So nice, nice man. And he loves having a little chat, doesn't he? Absolutely loves a chat. Now, the blue Lindy's one, like I said, you're probably not going to pick this up, but it's got a bit of sparkle in it, which is quite nice. From the bottom you can see the sparkle on it. It doesn't look very pretty at the moment, Jill. There's big blobs of colour, but it is a nice colour combo. I don't know, it just makes me happy, this colour combo. I haven't anything in the house this colour, like. I don't know where it's going to go. Yeah, you must, Julie, you must. Do want to match your house. Start them now, and then you can do one a month, and then you've got your Christmas presents sorted out. Let me see. So this bit I do need dried because we're going to dry brush a bit before we put the flowers back on. There we are. You might be able to catch the sparkle if I take a photo. When I take a photo of this one later on, I'll put it on after. I'll just take the photo straight after and put it on, and then you know I haven't messed or done anything with it. But the light's this dark is good because the colour that you're seeing on the screen is actually the colour that it is. Right, so dry brushing now. A flat brush, okay, and gesso or white acrylic paint or whatever you want, up to you, whatever you've got. Okay, so messy. Put some on your brush, just a little brush. I always use a little one. Some people use big ones, okay. Put it on the bristles and then take the majority of it off. And if your painting is dry, you know, your ink work is dry, then it'll be okay. And then from then on, I'm just going to take it from there, you know. So, I don't know whether you can see this. Right, I'll move it over. So, I'm starting on the clock face. Let's move all my stuff out of the way. Right, I'm starting on the clock face. And all I'm doing is holding it flat. Okay? And I'm just gently, as if it was, you know, like the way you use wax on your fingers. Really, really, really gently. Just gently brush it across. Or the way you would with an embossing folder. Brush it across where the numbers are. Or anything that sticks up high that you want to see. That you want to, you know, the tops of the stars. You're just picking up the top edges unfortunately you can't see this. Let me see if it comes up here if I do it. I'll turn it to this way. And then you might be able to see it on this one. Let me just catch the... Yeah, so it's flat, okay, and I'm just brushing. I don't know whether you can even pick that up, okay. But I'm just brushing. I'll make sure to take some photos of various areas of it, so you can see where the white gesso has just picked up the texture that is uppermost. Okay, so this takes a little time, and you can work this for hours. You know, you can just literally work it for hours. But I'm not going to work it for hours. I'm just gonna go across methodically from side to side. Especially on here where you've got a real good amount of detail on the... I think you might be able to pick that up actually. Where you've got a good amount of detail on this. Yeah, you've got ink on it, but you've also got some nice details. And it's at this point that you can kind of erase out any blobs that you really don't like. And believe me, I've got a few. So I'll show you how you do that. There's a few on there that I don't like. I can see them, but we'll go with it till we get where we need to be. So I do all the embellishments first, turn them round, including this one, little one. You can even do the rim of your hexagon, okay, and then onto your clock again. You can do you know what? You could do this for hours. You really could. And then I'm not going to promise. Right, so up here, don't like that. I do not like that. So I'm going to go a little heavier with the gesso, and I'm just going to drag it across the canvas. I don't know whether you can see that. It's not erasing it, it's just knocking it back. But because of the texture of the canvas, that also gives you a slightly different texture. Can you see that? Can everybody see that? Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, paper casts. Yeah, I need to have a go at one of them, Brian. It looks amazing. Okay. Anything that you go on too heavy with, just wipe it off. I'm just gonna, and I'm also going across the texture paste, because that will pick up the shape in the texture paste that you know that you put on with the stencil, and you can pick up. I hope you can see. So any of the blobs that you really don't like, you can just go over and use your finger as well. Keep going. Yeah, easy. Oh God, you have to be, because sometimes I go really heavy-handed. You can even knock it back with a baby wipe, you know. This is a really good technique. If you get an old book, you know, obviously not one that's worth reading, something that's like pages missing from a charity shop or whatever, glue a couple of your pages together and gesso over the words lightly. And by the time you finish, you'll have a really nice, you know, a project book or what's it called? You know what I mean. One of them books. Do your stamping on it, do your techniques on it. It's a quick and easy way of getting yourself a nice little book for 50p or whatever. Right, okay. I told you it took a while, didn't I? But I'm sure you can see, I can see that it's getting knocked back. Some of the harsh edges that I've left on there. Now, there's not a lot of detail on there, which is a shame. So I'll just use the gesso. Can you see if I lift it up? It's picking up all textures. You see, with the texture paste. You can do this on cards as well. You know, just get, if you don't want to try a massive canvas first, have a go with a card. It's nice to have a go at. But it is gentle brushing. It's not putting it down, you know, it's gentle. Like you do with your waxes and all. I've got so many strings on here, it's majorly annoying. That one's not actually glued properly. I'll do that again in a minute once this is dried. And I've got a couple of dodgy areas down here that I'm not right keen on as well. So, knock it back. See how muted it becomes then? Oh, maybe you can't see how muted it becomes, but I can. And that horrible bit at the top there, we'll just dry brush that away. Now, if when you've been spraying this, you've gone a bit, you've gone a bit dodge around the edges, like it looks a bit dodgy. Lost one. Around the sides. At this point, put some gesso on the sides. If you've got drips, like there, if you don't want it, paint it out now. Okay? Properly paint it out now. And that'll be, you might have to go over a couple of coats, but if it's going to be hanging on your wall, the last thing you need is to look up at it and see loads of drips. That won't look good. Back down to the last bit. Like I said, you can sit and dry brush for hours to pick up this, and the more you do it, the more texture comes through. But we don't have hours. So what you get is what you get today. Yeah, quite happy with that now, I think. Do you know what, Julie? It's one of them, right? Have a go, and if you don't like it, take all the embellishments off, paint it black, put your embellishments back on, paint them black, and just go over them with wax. You can always fix something, and if you don't have a go, you never find something new that you might like, And then once you've done it, you can take it into other areas of your crafting as well. Can't use it on your cards. After all, if you bought your canvas from a charity shop, which I do quite a lot, paint over it, gesso, might be a couple of layers, but you can pick one up for 50p, and why not have a go with one of them? You've not ruined anything. It's like, I call it slapdash approach to creativity. If you don't know, if you don't have a go, you'll never know if you like it or not. I've had to go to loads of stuff that I don't like. No, here we go. Not that I don't like, but it takes too long. I absolutely love Pergamano, right? But it takes too long. And I'm quite heavy-handed, and I know that I will ruin it with the last item that I do, because I've done it. So I won't do Pergamano, Although I'll sit and make a flower for 6 hours, I will not do Pergamano. I'll leave that to the people who are really good at it. So, yeah, you do. And every single thing that you do is yours. You made it. Nobody else has got one the same. It's your own creativity. And, often that's how you find your own style. That's how you find what you like, whether you like. Have a go at grunge. If you don't like it, you never have to do it again. Have a go at pretty. If you don't like it, paint over it. Don't do it again. And you can find what you like, especially if you're just starting out. I'm going to have to step away from this dry brushing because we'll be here till 12 o'clock. That's not good. Right, I'm going to wrap this in a baby wipe so it doesn't go all hard, because this is my favourite dry brushing one. So here we go. Wrap it in there, and then I can go and clean it later when I clean this thing. I'm just going to dry this off, and then we can put it together. And it didn't take too long. And once you've got it together and you put it all up, you can still go in with dry brushing. You can add a bit of ink. If you found you wanted a bit more paint on this side, have a go with that. You can always keep going with it. I think it's a confidence thing, isn't it? You just got to go for it and know that whatever you do, it's going to be yours and nobody else's. So, any more questions while I'm just drying off? No? Yeah, that's a really good idea, that, Brian. kids' ones are always thicker, aren't they? Yeah, spot on. Because if you buy a journal, sometimes the journals are really expensive, aren't they? You know, until, I suppose, and also you're going to find out what papers you like. You know, do you like working on watercolour and all the rest of it? Find a paper. Once you find a paper, you don't change. You keep it with that. You know. Right, let's see how we're going now. Are we dry enough to put it together? I think so. Just gotta, this is loose, as you can see. So I obviously didn't glue that too well. So I'm just going to whack it back down and see where it's been. Makes a nice interesting shape actually, doesn't it? Like a little silhouette. Don't find where it was. Stick it back down again. There we go. And wipe off any glue. We are going to put flowers over it. You'll only see a bit of it. Right, so remove these things because they're covered in ink and I don't want to ruin my flowers at all. There we are. Job's a good one. Take this away now. On the floor. And here we go. So, glue gun's still in. So, if you haven't cut into your petals, do it now. Cut them down a bit. Yeah, that's right. Do you know what I do? I buy, I really love Dale Rowney mixed media paper. As you know, I bang on about it all the time. So when it's buy one, get one half price in Hobbycraft, I buy an A3. I buy an A3 size and it's spring bound and I cut it down. I cut it down to an A4 and those bits I take off I use on my cards and all, and then what's left is a journal for new techniques, and they usually cost about £9. And the card, the paper, whatever it is that's inside it is absolutely second to none. I use it all the time. It's not pure white, that's the only issue, but you can gesso it. So, flower number one, on we go. So as you can see, we can see some of the art stones here. Yeah, I'm tight. I'd rather spend my money on the good stuff and save, you know, where I can. That's just the way it is. It's often where you find, wow, you didn't even know that would work, and then it does work, you know, and you're dead chuffed with yourself. Like, I've been watching Marion do the videos, the latest videos using that little gadget she bought, which is absolutely not for what she's been using it for, but there you go. That's how you find these things out, isn't it? I'm going to move that a bit back. You can see there a little bit of the hexagon. You can see a bit of the hexagon there. Background detail is what we're looking at. What else do I need? One there. Yep. So while I do this one, I'm going to pull in the leaves, okay, and I'm going to start popping some of these leaves on. The flowers will glue some of it down. You might need to go back in. Yeah, pancake maker. I couldn't think of the word. Yeah, see, who knew that a pancake maker could do that, you know? See, by having a go. She's found that out, which is amazing, because now everybody's going to want to do it, aren't they? We should have shares in the pancake makers. There we are. Glue that one down with that one. Slide it into place. You can see the stars. There you go. I'll turn it around and do this edge now in exactly the same way. Just fiddling with the flowers to give them a bit of dimension for the photos, as you do, as you do. There we go. So whop that one there, and lovely. You can see a bit of the star and a bit of the clock. So we're having one of them there and one of them there, obviously, because it's the same on the other side. Oh, thanks, Brian. You can't fail, can you, with these flowers to make something pretty, to be fair. You cannot fail. So, in we go. Put some of these on. When I made this, the first, when I finished it, I thought, have I gone OTT with the flowers? So I just left it on the side. I didn't look at it until the next morning. And I thought, I can always take some off if I don't like it, if I've gone a bit over the top. But the next morning, looked at it with fresh eyes. And I really liked it. So it stayed as it was. I didn't do anything else to it. When I did the 50p piece shaped one. I think that's the one Julie's given away, the one that I sent down for Julie. It's bigger than this. I think this one's only, let me check. I think it's a 9-inch one, this one. It's 11. The other one, I think, is a 12-inch, so it's quite big. But I hope whoever wins it likes it when they get it. It's not dissimilar to this one. I've used the same technique, same colours, same flowers, it's all the same, as I figured you'd want to see it. Right, so we're looking pretty. Turned it around the right way, sorry for making you feel seasick. So we're looking at the big butterfly now. Here it is. Right there. I feel. We can pop that one on. See, at this point, you could be using your mixed media gel and then just leave it for overnight. Just leave it overnight. And then it'll set rock hard, especially if you're going to put a metal key on it or something like that. Because you do really need something a bit better than hot glue for a metal key. Okay, here we go. So now we're going to start chopping into the leaves and adding them. Lift up your petals. And tuck them in. Put your petals back over. There we are. I love these. These are really pretty. They fill everything else. They fill a space and they look great at the same time. So I'm going to put one there. You can see what I mean about space filling. Just makes it look really nice. Even if I do say so myself. Oh, good. I'm glad you wanted to have a go. Honestly. I tell you, if you're going to have a go as well with, if you go to Works, they do these wooden hearts for £1. I think I did have one here. They're £1. I did some, oh, this is really old. They look like that. They're £1, and that is perfect to start a bit of mixed media on. You can't argue with that. I did some painting on it and some crackle and what's it called? Sheena blah paint on it ages and ages ago. But I will paint that one. I'll paint that black and have a go with, do a bit of black on it. So now decide where I'm going to put that butterfly up there, because I really quite like a butterfly at the end. There, pull that one out a bit more. There we are. Do I need some more of these? Yes, I do, over the other side. So, there we go. One up the top there. Hope you can see that. I think, now, at this point, you can decide if you want to put any of these white bits in, underneath and around. I like that there. I do. So because I've got one there, I'll have to have one on the bottom, because that's the way I am. Just tuck it in. Lift up. That's why I never ever glue the outside edges of my petals. Oh yeah, that's the way. In they go. Glue it down, and in with that one. Glue it down, and that just gives a little bit of more interest there. Do I need any more leaves? Let's have a look. Yep, one in there. Now I'm using the single ones just to add a bit, you know, a bit of filler. Ones that are cut off. And I'm going to pop that one in there. Because I did it there, I have to do it on the other side. It is the law. I'm a bit like that. I like symmetry. I have a problem with random. Everything in the house is symmetrical. If there's one on one side of the mantelpiece, there's one on the other as well. There we are. That one can go there. I've even managed to keep the edges tidy, which I am absolutely made up about because I don't normally. Okay, I've got one butterfly. That one's there. So, and again, I don't like butterflies flying upside down. So I'm going to pop that one just to balance over that side. I'm going to pop that one there. Now, all that's left really is to have a look at it. See if you want any more flower. I'm happy with that. I'm pretty happy with that. The only thing that's left to put on is the word. So you can either group it with them or you can put it, find a spot that you don't like, that you want muted down, and pop it on. Quite like it there. What do you think? Yeah, right, okay, that's where it's going. I can't believe I'm so decisive tonight. You asked Julie. Julie's Hairpin. We've done lives together, and I have literally done an editing because I've spent hours messing about putting stuff on. Because the composition to me is the most important. I was lucky tonight because I've done this one before. So all that's left really is to pop on some middles. Now these are a bit large. And these flowers are really large. So all I'm going to do is, it's a sticky one, but it's got a bit of crackled gold on it. I don't know where I got it from. I think at one point I did buy it in the hope that I was going to make them into earrings. You know, stud earrings. But I'm going to put a big one in the middle of that one because it's the biggest flower. Thank you, Stephanie. I know I am. The faff queen. The queen of faffing and the queen of typos. Yeah, I do a good typo, good line and a typo. Right, so them on there, and now, no project is complete without some glossies. So, out comes some glossies. And let's find the exact colour that we need. Oh yeah, we're looking good here. I have absolutely the perfect colour. There's always a perfect colour glossy. Always. To go with whatever you're doing. So, that one can go in the middle of there. I keep headbutting the camera because it's right above me. That one can go in there. That one can go in there. And then I'm going to go smaller again for these little ones. Tiny, tiny ones. It's all about scale and size, isn't it? Now, there we are. That one there. Just make sure you've got enough to go on both sides, because that will be annoying, won't it, if it doesn't. Oh yeah, there's lucky. There's lucky. I've got some more. Oh, that one doesn't come off. There we are. You do. You do. So, I'll tell you a little story, right? My partner, he used to get embarrassed when I went in charity shops. He'd never, ever, ever shopped in a charity shop in his life. You know, he just did not know what he was missing. And I used to work in the Red Cross in Pembrokeshire, so I used to get all the good stuff. You know, it'd come in, we'd put it on one side, the woman would come and tell us how much we needed to pay for it, and we would pay for it, and that was that. So he said to me, I bought him a pair of jeans once, and he said to me, where did you get these jeans from? You didn't get them from a charity shop. I said, no, absolutely not. I'd washed them. I'd washed them first. Anyway, I ironed them. He put them on. And while we were out, he said to me, did you get these from the charity shop? Now, tell me the truth. And I knew he'd be really mad if I said I did. And they were lovely. Right? They were a good name and everything. And I said, no, I didn't. So he pulled out of his pocket. I mean, we lived in Pembrokeshire. He pulled a ticket that had been washed in the wash for a cinema in Oxford out of his pocket. And he was absolutely losing it. Anyway, Since then, I have him really trained. So the last time when he was away, he rang me up and he said, I've just walked past a skip and there's 2 broken guitars. Now, I've been looking for a broken violin. I want to do a violin. And so he brought these 2 guitars home. He said, do you want one? I said, no, I want the both of them. So he had to go climbing in the skip for them. But I've done one. I've done a white one. It's in the house. It's on an easel. But I've got another one in the corner here, and I think I might go dark side with that one when I get some time. Now, have I done all of those? Do I need one in the middle of me? Butterfly. Sorry for boring you with me. It just reminded me. It just reminded me of the ticket thing. So you can't kid a kidder, can you? Hey? So there we are. I think we're done. I'm happy with that. It's not too in your face, although it might be a bit. It looks in your face up there on the screen, but it isn't. So I will take some photos in a second, and I'll pop it straight on, because I've got another item for my post tomorrow, my Tuesday post. So I hope you enjoyed that. I did, and I hope you have a go. And if you do, give us a shout. If you go to do it and you get stuck, just private message me. I'll always help you. I'll come on FaceTime and I'll help you do it. You know, I'm always up for that. Like, so anyway, thank you for joining me, guys, and I will see you tomorrow. And have a good evening. Bye.